To understand California's criminal justice system, you have to understand one law above all others: three strikes. Enacted in 1994, it was among the most consequential and controversial sentencing policies in American history. In its original form, a defendant with one prior serious or violent felony got their sentence doubled. A defendant with two prior strikes who committed any new felony, even something minor like petty theft, faced a mandatory 25 years to life. That breadth meant people could receive life sentences for nonviolent offenses, which generated enormous criticism. The U.S. Supreme Court upheld the law against cruel and unusual punishment challenges in 2003, leaving reform to California's voters, and the costs mounted. By 2006, California's prison population had more than tripled from 1980, reaching nearly 174,000, with severe racial disparities and soaring costs for aging prisoners. So in 2012, voters passed Proposition 36, which fixed the most extreme feature. Now the third strike itself must be a serious or violent felony to trigger the life sentence, and thousands of prisoners became eligible for resentencing. Importantly, the evidence since shows no measurable increase in violent crime from those resentencings. The scale of California's incarceration is staggering. The Department of Corrections and Rehabilitation runs 35 adult prisons plus fire camps where minimum security inmates fight wildfires. The cost of incarceration runs about $81,000 per person per year, the highest of any state, driven largely by security staffing and healthcare for an aging population. This overcrowding triggered the most significant correctional reform of the modern era. In the case of Brown versus Plata in 2011, the U.S. Supreme Court affirmed an order requiring California to drastically reduce its prison population, finding that overcrowding had produced conditions amounting to cruel and unusual punishment. The legislative response was Public Safety Realignment, Assembly Bill 109. It shifted responsibility for lower-level, non-serious, non-violent, non-sexual offenders from state prisons to county jails and probation. The prison population fell from about 162,000 in 2011 to roughly 122,000 by 2020, but it shifted stress onto counties, many with limited jail space and treatment capacity. Finally, bail reform. Critics argue cash bail conditions freedom on wealth rather than risk. A court ruling required judges to consider ability to pay, but in 2020 voters rejected a measure that would have eliminated cash bail entirely, showing just how contested these questions remain.